Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting and welcome back from the spring break. I'm going to pass it over to our student for our committee report.
Good evening, Eastchester community. The spring pep rally was a huge success. There were games, team dances, and lots of school spirit. Many thanks to the EGO officers for organizing an incredible event. Vote Gianna Peduto for Low HUD Player of the Week. Gianna was 6 for 11 over 3 games with 2 doubles and 5 RBIs. She also had a walk-off single with 2 outs in 1 game. Congrats, Gianna. Congratulations to Aiden Ruin and Grace Sheehan on being named valedictorian and salutatorian for the EHS class of 2025. Their hard work and academic commitment really paid off and is an inspiration to many. EHS Youth for Unity Club is hosting a pancake social on April 26 in the high school cafeteria. Families with students in kindergarten through 8th grade are welcome to attend. There will be face painting, board games, and raffle prizes. The annual Light Up the Night for Autism lacrosse games will be held this Friday at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. at Handle. Please come and support the team's effort to help spread awareness. All donations go to SEPTA. Good night, and thank you for supporting all of us Eagles.
Thank you so very much. Do I have any committee reports? Chrissy?
Hello, I have a update from the Secondary Scheduling Committee. Our administrative team will be hosting a community forum for parents about the proposed schedule changes for the high school and middle school on Monday, April 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. We encourage parents to attend either in person or watch the live stream to hear about the changes and have the opportunity to ask questions of the administrators. We have a very strong, very knowledgeable, and very experienced administrative team who have been working very diligently on this project all year long. And they continue to take feedback from students and parents and staff and continue to tweak the schedule. And they've really put together something that best addresses students' needs. I know there were some concerns about how this would affect the music department, and Dr. Valenti is going to be addressing that tonight in his presentation and tell you about the solutions, which are actually going to really benefit the music department. He'll go into more detail about that in a bit. But I hope that we can use this as a learning experience, what to do in a situation when there's a potential change, and change could be scary. It's really important for us as adults to model for kids to remain calm and measured, to gather facts and information before reacting or overreacting. I'm reminded of that poster that I always see in the middle school and high school. I always see in the hallways that it says, think before you act, or before you post on social media, think, is it factual, is it correct, is it kind? So I think that's important for all of us to remember, because we're all on the same side here. We're all on the side of the students and what's best for the students. And it's so important for us to just stay measured, collect information, facts, not spread false information, because I think it caused a lot of students unnecessary angst and worry. So again, parent forum is April 28th, and there will also be student forums during your lunch periods where you can meet with the administrators and ask questions about the schedule.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? Sure.
I just want to thank the Ann Hutch PTA for the handbag bingo event that took place a few weeks ago. It was very well attended, and it was just a great night out. I know a lot of hard work went into it, and it was a very successful night. A lot of the board members were there too. And just thank you to the other PTAs for their collaboration and getting the word out. It was a great night overall. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. Before I dive into my president's report, the board would like to welcome to the table Dr. Bill Meyer and Mr. Robert Jacoby in their roles as assistant superintendents. Congratulations on your positions. We look forward to your continued contributions toward the success of all our students. So again, congratulations. So tonight, this Board of Education will adopt the proposed 2025-2026 school budget. This budget represents months of thoughtful planning and collaboration between the district leadership and staff. It reflects our shared priorities, including supporting student achievement through high-quality instructions and resource, maintaining critical student services and programs, providing safe, inclusive learning environments, as well as ensuring responsible stewardships of the taxpayer funds. We encourage community members to provide any questions prior to the May vote. Transparency and engagement are vital to this process, and we welcome your continued involvement. Thank you to the community for all your support as we work together to provide the best possible education for our students. And with that, Dr. Valenti, it's time for your superintendent's report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, members of the board and members of the community, let's begin the superintendent's report with some student recognition. That's always the best place to begin. And on Sunday, April 13th, 10 of our middle school students performed at Carnegie Hall as part of the Distinguished Concert Singers Series. We're very grateful to our principal, Madeline LeBeau, and our middle school choir director, Erin Bonner. Erin, I'd like to call you to the microphone, if you will. Would you introduce the students, say a word or two about the program, and then have the students perform?
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. Our students were selected to do this opportunity. They were the only school from New York to participate. There were schools from Indiana, South Carolina, Florida, New Jersey. It was a huge honor for them to earn this opportunity. I submitted them as a part of their concert, and I spoke with the director, and he was like, we'll take as many as you can get. He was like very thrilled. We got an invitation to return at any point because they were so thrilled with their performance. So we have Gabby Eliade-Passy, Millie Convery, Fumi Fujinuma, Megan Messer, Dana Miranda, Alessia Revelico, Colette Schwer, Soleil Stein, Sofia Vakraneva, and Ella Watanabe. And we will be performing one of the pieces that was the world premiere, which I've performed at Carnegie Hall twice myself as a singer. However, I've never done a world premiere, so they've got one up on me on that. So why don't you guys come on up and we will sing for you The Bowl of Light. wanted to also say thank you so much to Mrs. LeBeau and Mr. Carroll for their support. They actually took time out of their break to come and see the performance, which is so wonderful to have a building level support system. Thank you to Dr. Valenti, and of course, thank you to the Board of Education. We really appreciate your support.
Would you like a Kodak moment?
Sure.
Yeah. Michael, if we could do with Erin and her.
The goody patooties, the little ones. Let's get everybody. Eric, yeah, over here. Worship, thank you. Then face Mr. Smith, please. There you go. Wow, we did it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
I don't know about you, but those voices were angelic. I thought I had gone to heaven just listening. Okay. From the music world to the doctoral world, tonight we want to honor Dr. Joseph Gilson. On Thursday, April 17th, Joe defended his dissertation and he earned his doctorate from the University of Buffalo. I was invited by Jill Post and took advantage of it, so I witnessed Joe's defense. And having headed up a doctoral program myself, I was tremendously impressed by his knowledge of the field that he defended his dissertation in, and in terms of enlarging the field for advanced placement for students, particularly those not normally selected for the program. So, Joe, would you come up to the microphone here? We want to commend you. A newly minted Dr. Gibson. Why don't you say a few words, Dr. Gilson?
Thanks so much. I'm incredibly lucky and privileged for a couple of different events for me for this past month, but this one was really awesome. You know, I started this program in the spring before I got to Eastchester, but it really came into fruition working with Dr. Valenti as well as several of my colleagues who give me the support. And one of the great things about doing an EDD program is that it's being able to apply it to the field, and it's going to come back and be able to use it inside Eastchester High School. And one of my goals of this program was to look at, you know, sometimes we make policies and things like that abroad because we have so many different students, but we have to challenge ourselves to constantly making it individualized. And it doesn't have to be a major change. It could be small little changes, but providing different access and pathways for students who may not have that opportunity. Doesn't mean they're all going to take AP Physics, which is an awesome class if you're ready for math and science, but where can we find ways to get students to have more access, and how can we challenge teachers just to change a little bit here and there to better help their students? So it was a really great 3 years experience, and looking forward to applying it here at Eastchester. So thank you, Dr. Valenti, thank you to the board and the entire school district for giving me this opportunity.
Is this good enough right here, Michael? Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And by the way, Joe is a new daddy. That's right. As I mentioned, Jill Post is also completing her work at the University of Buffalo.
Eventually.
Okay. Get it done, Jill. That's the word.
Joe and I started our cohorts. We were in the same cohort together. That's great.
Now there's pressure.
Now there's pressure. A little heavy.
So speaking of cohorts, we have our own cohort right here in Eastchester, and I think it's good to give them a certain amount of recognition that when you look at the list, notice your principal, Caitlin and Dana, are assistant principal at Waverly, Laura and Eleni at Ann Hutch, Joanna and Diana at Greenvale, Madeline at the middle school, Chris, who's here tonight at the high school, and Robert sitting at the table at Central. All of them are members of a cohort right here in Eastchester, beginning their 3-year venture. They've completed some courses already, and I think it's important to reflect on the value of what a doctorate does for an individual who's an educational leader. it gives them the opportunity to do additional research and reach the highest point of your profession. Having a master's is one step, but having the doctorate is taking the full step. And it's the full complement of learning the skills that are necessary in order to bring about educational change based on doing your own research. So we're delighted that we have 9 of our own, of course Jill makes it 10, who will be working not only with our staff, but with our students as well. And this does redound to the benefit of students when you have individuals at literally each of our 5 campuses who will now be thinking about a dissertation title and research that they will be doing. And we encourage, in the professional practice doctorate, we encourage them to choose topics that are relevant to the work that we're doing in our own schools. For example, Acadians is an assessment that we're using at Waverly. What is its applicability across all the K-5 levels? Some of the areas we're pursuing with the schedule, the secondary schedule, evaluating the effectiveness of that schedule could be a topic for a dissertation. So this is not pie in the sky theory. This is being an academic practitioner operating in the practical world. So I do want to give a nod to our team here, those who are still moving on to the doctorate, and we thank the board for your ongoing support for these individuals in this partnership with Long Island University. Earlier this evening, I think we showed our commitment with the 10 middle school students to music and the performing arts. We want to put on the record, and I think Chrissy Geegan nailed it earlier in her report, that we are not looking to contract, we're looking to expand our music program and opportunities. So to that end, next year, we're going to help our music faculty and students move out of the cramped facilities that we currently inhabit. And we're going to create 2 dedicated band orchestra rooms. Currently, we have 1. So we're going to take the current band orchestra room and in addition, the current chorus room and make that now a dedicated band orchestra room. To that end, we'll replace the 1 chorus room with 2 chorus rooms by finding additional rooms within the middle and high school that are located in a place that could be designated for this choral instruction. This is a huge move forward for the music department, who has registered with us over the years. They're concerned about trying to get room in the auditorium or in the balcony or whatever area may seem to be available. And we're basically moving that space to a larger dimension, not only because it's going to help our teachers and students learn better in a more accommodating environment, but also we're growing the program at the elementary level. And if you're going to grow your chorus and your band and your chorus and your orchestra with increased elementary students, this is the time to find additional rooms. So we'll keep the community abreast on this as we move through the spring semester, and we'll keep you informed on the status of available rooms. And this, of course, will be discussed, as Chrissy said, at the community forum next Monday as well. A little bit now about the budget. As the board president said, tonight the board will be adopting not only the budget for next school year, but also the tax rate report card. And I wanted to say a few words in general about the status of our budget in comparison to all the budgets throughout the region. And I'm looking at the Westchester Putnam School Board 2025 report. Right now, Eastchester has a 1.48 combined wealth ratio, all right? Now you might say, well, so what? Well, so what? It's good to know 1.0 is the standard in the state. So if you're above 1.0, that means you're doing better than the state. But we have a large state, and Eastchester is just about on or around the median. As you could see, it's slightly below the median. The third quartile and the highest quartile are what they are there, 2.2, 3.9. And of course, the lowest quartile is 1.26. So the point here is that we're on or about the median, but look what we're doing with our wealth. Our tax levy increase is below the median. That's important to note, that we came in less than where the median is, okay, at 2.63%, and we're maintaining a tax levy increase that's commensurate with our status of wealth. But look what we're doing on the spending. That's the real movement. We're spending close to 5% in this budget in order to invest in our children, even though we're slightly below the median, both from a wealth point of view and from a tax rate point of view. So I think that's important. If a taxpayer says, well, why should I vote on this particular budget, vote affirmatively, we're really in a sweet spot. We have leveraged a very low wealth ratio and a low tax levy, staying below the 2%. We've leveraged both of those into a high investment in our students, 4.9%. Just an observation that I think data-wise is worth acknowledging. So as the board prepares to adopt the budget tonight, they will have a public hearing on May 6th. And as you know, the budget vote board election is slated for May 20th. A couple of highlights on the budget before the board formally adopts it. We remained faithful to staying below the cap, the 2% cap. Our programs run from kindergarten to grade 12. Our revenue, $110 million, and expenditures are equal to. It's not that we're spending more than we're taking in. And we have built in efficiencies into this budget that will produce effective academic results. So as you can see, it's a $1.9 million increase, or 1.9% over the current year budget for next year in terms of what we're asking the taxpayers to provide. The average taxpayer in Eastchester will experience a slight net increase in the assessment for next year of approximately $58. Using the tax rate, we estimate that that new tax rate will go up $1 per thousand, from $1,627 to $1,628. So that would increase the tax bill by $104 for the average taxpayer. Now, if your home is assessed at $16,000 or $17,000, well, then you can simply double that increase. If your home is assessed at $4,200, you can halve that increase. So it works both ways. But that's a good barometer to look at. In terms of where the money is coming from, in a district like Eastchester, which is relatively wealthy and a good, solid position, the local levy provides 3/4. So 75 cents of every dollar we spend out of the $110 million next year is coming from our taxpayer. Another 16% will come from the state, and the remaining 9% from miscellaneous sources, ranging from interest and other areas that we incur revenue, county taxes, etc. In terms of how we plan to spend our money next year, looking at the pie chart, again, we're putting most of our money 78% of every dollar, 78 cents on every dollar, into program. Program means our teacher salaries, our children's classrooms, our technology, our materials, our supplies, our hardware, everything we're spending to make instruction work better in our classrooms. The capital expenditure includes our bus transportation, our 1600 code, which covers all of your maintenance, custodial, salaries, facilities, etc. And then your 8% refers to your BOCES expenses, your administrative costs, etc. And as I pointed out in the initial presentation, that number is allowed to go up to as much as 10% in an ideal budget. We are at a very good point at keeping it in a single digit and putting those extra percentages or dollars into program. So I don't know if the board, before it approves the budget, has any questions or comments that they would like to make at this point, but that pretty much sums up what we're about to adopt from a tax rate point of view and also from a budget point of view.
That's great, Dr. Valenti. If you could just go back to slide 15 very quickly, because I think there's just a couple of important things on there for the taxpayer. And I know as we look at the budgeting process and figure out how do we do more for our students and have better student outcomes, we also balance that budget with a lot of the seniors in our town and folks that, cannot continue with giant tax increases. And I think what's really important here is to note that not only are we increasing programming for all of our students, but for the average taxpayer based on their assessed value, the school property portion of your tax bill is going up $104 throughout the cost of the year. So I think it's very important just to highlight that you're talking about less than $10 a month based on this budget that your taxes would be going up. To Dr. Valenti's point, if your assessed value is half, it's $52 for the year. Or if you happen to live in a house that's assessed very high, it could potentially be double. But even for those folks that live in houses that are assessed potentially high, and it's double, you're talking about $208 over the course of that time. So some of the seniors in town that I talk to are always concerned about their taxes, and what I would say is this budget represents the perfect balance of doing what's right by our staff, our students, and our taxpayers. And keep in mind, one of the indicators of your property value is your school system. How desirable is your school system? And I think the commitment of this board has always been that balancing act for the past 3 years. So just to comment, Dr. Valenti, and to everyone in the business office, I think this is a very tight, well thought out, meaningful budget that took all of those things into consideration. So I just wanted to highlight that very publicly. Average taxpayer, that portion of your bill is going up $104. This is also a different way of presenting it since you've been here, Dr. Valenti. I think in the past, we've seen a percentage, and I think it was very much, we tax to the cap, period, end of story. You just tax to the cap without doing a bottoms-up approach. And I don't believe prior to 3 years ago, anyone actually broke out for the individual taxpayer, what does this mean for me? So for those of you that are watching at home or here in the audience or go back and refer to it, that increase on the average assessed home is $104. Keep that in mind as you go to the polls, and please make sure you go out and support the budget.
Good, thank you.
That was the only comment, Dr. Valenti, from my perspective.
And I do want to thank all the staff, as you did, because this job began last fall, okay? We've been at this since last November. Our principals, assistant principals, working with staff, building the budget. Thank some of the folks here, Chandra, who took an active role as the interim business administrator, Bill and Robert, obviously, Jill. As recently as today, we met on looking at physical therapist, occupational therapist, and is there a way to hire our own as opposed to spending contractual monies outside the district? So the short answer is yes, there is. So that is something that we're going to be pursuing. So we're always looking for ways to use the available resources to improve the program. It is a dynamic budget, okay? So on that note, if there are no other comments or questions, that ends the superintendent's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Valenti. So we are now up to the superintendent recommendations. Do I have a motion for section 6.1 to adopt the budget? Matt?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts the proposed 2025-2026 budget in the amount of $110,914,498. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education shall present the following to the voters of the Eastchester Union Free School District on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Proposition 1. Shall the Eastchester Union Free School District of the Town of Eastchester, Westchester County, New York, adopt a budget for the school year 2025 to 2026 for the schools comprising said Eastchester Union Free School District in the gross sum of $110,914,498 and raise the necessary taxes required for said budget in one sum by tax upon the taxable property of the district.
Thank you, Matt. Do I have a second? Jackie, all in favor? All right, the budget is adopted. Now, do I have a motion for section 6.2, the adoption of the property tax report card? All right, Matt.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education has reviewed and hereby approves the attached 2025-2026 school property tax report card for the Eastchester Union Free School District and authorizes the Assistant Superintendent to submit the same in accordance with the law.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Sean, all in favor? All right. The property tax report card is adopted. Now we are up to the consent agenda. Before we read the consent agenda, I have to ask for a motion to table a section 12.6 approval of an agreement with the Wright Active School. So do I have a motion to table that for further discussion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, thank you, Matt. Do I have a second? Lori, all in favor? All right. Now, do I have a motion for the consent agenda? Jackie, thank you. Just be in mind that that section has to be tabled. The business office recommendation, section 12.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda, which includes the following: 8, approval of minutes; 9, personnel agenda; 10, educational and curriculum and instruction; 11, Committee on Preschool Education and Committee on Special Education recommendations.
Do I have a second? Sean, all in favor? All right, the motion passes. All right, our future meeting dates will be May 6th. It's a regular meeting, which is a budget hearing. May 20th is a regular meeting, which is the annual.
Christine,
Oh,
I'm sorry to
Jamie.
interrupt. Lori, I just have a really quick question. So did we just table that one item under business office recommendations? So we have to go
do the whole
back.
thing? Okay.
We have to go back just procedurally. So, no, that's fine. So Jackie, can you go back and we'll redo the vote on that? Go back, read the entire resolution under consent, because we should read 12. The way we just left it, we tabled everything under 12.
Okay.
Not just that item.
Say the whole thing, okay. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, no
Sorry about
problem.
that.
No, don't be sorry at all. There's a lot of agendas here tonight.
Okay, take 2. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda, which includes the following: 8, approval of minutes; 9, personnel agenda; 10, educational and curriculum and instruction; 11, Committee on Preschool Education and Committee on Special Education recommendations; 12, business office recommendations.
Do I have a second? Sean, all in favor? Okay. So future meeting dates, May 6th is a regular meeting, May 20th is the board trustee annual vote. And that's it for that. And now we're up to the comment from the public section. Just with respect to the comments from the public, please be advised that, as Chrissy stated earlier, the forum for the, is everything right? Oh, okay, sorry. The forum for the secondary schedule is set for Monday. So please hold any questions for that, regarding that issue for that forum, because this really isn't a question and answer session. For this comment section, please be advised that this is a 30-minute block. Each person will be allocated 3 minutes. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address, and above all, please be civil. Anybody? Come on down. Please sign it, sign in.
Can you just sign the sign-in sheet over there, please?
Good evening, Joseph Santa Maria, 58 Stewart Place, Eastchester. Last time I was here was a little over 4 months ago, so I'm just following up on a couple items that I addressed back then regarding the water in the basement on the homes on Water Street and Stewart Place. I sent 3 invoices on December 12th for the amount of $12,083.82 to the law firm out in Long Island. And a week later, I sent 69 documents that they requested that they weren't aware of. And I haven't heard anything from them. So on March 14th, I sent them an email regarding what's the status with the invoices. And they got back to me the next day stating that the law firm has a new insurance adjuster who was assigned to the case, and he needs time to catch up with the paperwork regarding the homes that were damaged with the water in the basement. Well, I sent an email today, which is now 9 weeks after that email regarding the status of the 3 invoices, and I'm still waiting for a response. So again, I emphasize, I didn't want to sue the school district. I didn't want to hire a lawyer. I didn't want to spend more money out of my pocket. So I'm representing myself. So now we're going a little over 4 months now, and the law firm has not done anything. I gave them everything they requested, and their answer is, they have a new insurance adjuster and he needs time to catch up. And that was 9 weeks ago. So again, I just want to give you an update here as board members, what's going on with that. The other item was the interim athletic director. I want to make a few corrections here. I was told by the president on this board that I wasn't stating facts on the December 22nd meeting. She was correct. The facts that I stated, I had the dates wrong. I stated December 17th and May 7th and June 9th. But the actual date that the interim athletic director was appointed the job was actually July 9th. And why were those dates wrong? Because on the website, they had 2 dates for the same event. They were a month apart. So I watched that over 3 times. So the president was correct. I didn't state a certain fact that was correct. The only facts I saw that weren't incorrect were the dates. As for everything else that I spoke about,
Excuse me, your time is now expired.
excuse me?
Your time is expired.
Okay. All right, so I could sit down and come up again? Because we have 30 minutes of speaking to the public, right?
Each person is only given 3 minutes.
Is that in the, you have that in the notes? I haven't seen that. I never saw that in any notes. You have that written in the law that if there's no one in the crowd that could speak, and we have 30 minutes of open public meeting, you're telling me I can't sit down, come back up again?
There's
And if
procedure.
that's the case, that's fine, but I like to see that. Could you pull that up on the computer? Is there a memo in the laws of this committee that if no one else is going to speak in the open public?
That doesn't give you the right to speak for 30 minutes.
No,
Everyone is
no,
fair
but I
for
could
3
come up
minutes.
again. I could come up and I'll give you my address of my second home that I own in Eastchester. I just gave you address of my primary home.
Right.
So I could come up again, I'll give you address
You-
of my other home that
You
I
only,
have.
an individual has only 3 minutes. We've been saying these rules for the past several years now. 3 minutes allocated per person.
Okay, you've been saying it, but do you have proof in the writings? Anywhere in your memos? Could you pull that up with all these laptops here to show me that no one else can speak a second time?
Lori, dude, we have that documented. We can show that to you. So there's actually a policy in Robert's Rules of Order where each person gets 3 minutes. We do have that documented and we can supply that to you. I think at this point, the back and forth, take another minute or so, finish up your thoughts, and Lori will get that for you. The time we did in the banter back and forth, you probably could have finished.
A minute's
so.
fine.
So, okay.
A minute
Okay.
is fine,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's,
So I corrected the facts with the president, now with the board secretary. At that meeting 4 months ago, he was correct, and I was wrong. The board secretary said that the position was interim athletic director. So I was wrong. However, the board secretary was wrong because he said it was regarding certificates that he was going to get his degree at Hunter College. I watched that video 3 times, and the word certificate was never mentioned once. What was mentioned was a degree. So I just want to make that clear for the board.
I'll stand corrected on that. I'm the board secretary, just so it's on the comment. I called it a certificate, but it was a degree. So I'll agree with you on that.
Okay, and I'll just wrap it up here. My primary home, and I own 2 homes in Eastchester, just went up $626 from the year before. And no buildings were added, no.
What you're probably looking at is your full tax bill. So your school tax bill
No,
has
just the
not,
school tax alone.
your school tax hasn't gone up yet.
Hold on.
We didn't approve it. So what you're looking at the bill that was due April 30th. Am I correct?
No, that was the bill I paid in January.
Okay.
Okay.
So that bill, right, went up how much from the prior year?
$626.70 just for the school.
So then that means you live in a house that is assessed way higher than the median. That's what that means.
On that screen, the assessment was $8,000, my house is $11,000. So if you raise it $140 a year, do from 8 to 11, 140, that's $420. We're still at 626, so that's last year. Now, we're gonna have a new budget for 110 million, so I'm just letting everybody
Sure.
know. Just the school tax alone went up $626.70. And I'm just emphasizing, you're asking for this bond, spending money on this lawyer, our tax dollars. I didn't spend a lawyer on myself, I represented myself, and this is what we're concerned about. We want things to be proactive here, and the law firm is not proactive at all.
I think, Mr. Santorini, just to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he represented the school. but they represent the school board because.
They're not a lawyer, though, they're our insurance company.
No, they're a law firm.
But that's our insurance company. They have a law firm within their insurance company. That's
All right,
representing.
we're going to have.
We gotta wrap this
Yes,
up.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mrs. Santamaria, what we'll do is, Lori will follow up with you tomorrow on some of the nuance there. Thank you for your comments. I think we all understand what you're saying. Again, just a point of clarification. Two things that I would say. If your taxes went up that much, you should schedule an appointment with Michelle Licio, who's the tax assessor. She can go through the bill with you. She's fantastic and wonderful to understand the difference. That takes everything into account because your property is different than anybody else's, one. Number two, just to clarify, what we're putting up on May 20th is not a bond. It is the normal school budget. We have to approve a school budget every single year. Our budget, I believe, that we approved going into this year was approximately, don't hold me to it, about $104 million in change. This budget is $110 million. So it's not a bond where we're borrowing money. This is just the budget. Lori will follow up with you tomorrow on the insurance portion of this, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
And the policy.
Okay, and the interim athletic director, we're going on 6 months, May 1st, and he's still getting paid by our tax dollars. And I just want to make that clear.
And what I would say, just very briefly for the public record, any questions surrounding that, I will refer you to the Westchester County DA's office.
That's not a question, I'm just putting it out there.
It's fine.
that It's 6 months on May 1st, he's still getting paid, and we still don't have a solution.
And that's why I'm saying,
That's-
agreed, you should reach out to the Westchester County DA's office.
Okay.
Okay.
And regarding with reaching out to Alicia with the taxes, I do it every year. Nothing's changed.
Okay, thank
I
you.
did it.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, Allison Reale, 18 Ampel Drive. I just wanted to say thank you to the board for supporting the middle school chorus in going to Carnegie Hall. It was an amazing experience for these children, and I am just so grateful that they had this opportunity to work with Ms. Bonner and represent our school at Carnegie Hall, which is probably, for many of them, once-in-a-lifetime experience. I hope that you continue to support the arts program in the school, because while I know that the academics are important, I know that for some children, just coming to school to have the support of Ms. Rendy and Ms. Bonner and having a safe place within the arts is so very important and helps enhance their entire academic experience. So hearing that they're going to find more space to allow for the growth of the programs is exciting. And I just want to highlight the impact that these two teachers have had on my family, and I know many others, and I hope that we can continue to support the growth of these programs. Thank you.
Hi, Abigail Ruane, 40 Water Street, Eastchester. I just wanted to echo also the amazing work by the arts tonight with the musical performance, and just say thank you really to all of the board for having this town hall next week. I think this is really good practice to engage the community on these kinds of things. I think we all know that like supporting our students is a collective effort. You know, it requires all of us that we work together. So I would hope that an additional lesson learned from this process is to be able to be more collaborative and engage in a two-way manner some of the concerns raised in the community. So in that regard, I'd really hope that the town hall meeting next week, as well as the student discussions, will be a two-way street, and we'll be able to sort of take up any remaining concerns that are raised, not just be something that's informing us of. So thank you.
Thank you. And just to clarify, which I missed in my president's report regarding the community forum, the board will not be in attendance, neither will Dr. Valenti. This will solely be parents and the administrators will report back their feedback and input to us so that we can all fully deliberate and continue having the discussion with the administrators. We feel that that's probably a better option to have it more one-on-one with the parents than having us there. Sure.
So I know you usually state it before public comment about the 30-minute time limit and the 3 minutes per, for each participant. So just that the community knows it's not an arbitrary time limit. If you wanted to check policy 1230R under public participation at board meetings, under time limits, it is intent to provide each participant a fair and equal opportunity to be heard. In accordance with board policy 1230, speakers are allotted 3 minutes for comment. And then there are areas about appropriate issues, audience for public comment, decorum, et cetera, if you wanted to reference that.
Thank you, Jackie. Anyone else? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? Sean, do I have a second? Jill, all in favor? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.